Hi, people. I decided I would take my testimony and share it to YouTube. Now, you all know the music me, the and a bit of the gamer me. It's time you know the truth about me. I was, I am now going into ninth grade. That's scary. So yes, my testimony will be a bit short, but it won't be too short because it's really something I look as like, did I really do that? So, I was born in October. Yeah. Um, Me and my family, um, my family is lovely. I never had a dad in my life. Well, I had him, but he never stuck around. He wasn't the best father, as I'd say, but he didn't even have rights to take care of me. But I started to enjoy Christian music when I was around 4 or 5, and all I could just say was I loved it. And when I was in kindergarten, I started going to Sunday school, and I also got baptized. Um, at the time, I thought it was cool because my two sisters did it. I love my two sisters. I love them. I also love my mom. And I didn't really understand what I was doing at the time. A little more about that, but then in first grade, I got this teacher. Wasn't the best. Really demolished my skills at everything and academically. And I just sometimes I think about her like it was because she was a replacement for the first teacher who was pregnant and decided to leave after she had her baby. A little more on that was she was a great teacher, but I still miss her. And then a little thing after that was second grade. I switched schools. I only knew one person, and that's because that one person went to my old school, and she wasn't even there till third grade. A little more on that. That girl was really mean. Oh, and I also knew another girl who was younger than me, who I'm glad we are not friends anymore. I'll get a bit at that later. But life was good till third grade when COVID hit. It wasn't the best. Everyone knows what happened. Then that's when, over the summer when COVID hit, I started questioning about my dad. And I only saw him twice over the summer. Second time, he said he would get better. He said he would do everything to try to maintain a relationship with me. And then, about a week after that, this was, I believe, my worst week of my life. Started off with me dropping a few friends. And then on that Wednesday, it was like the end of July, my mom in the morning got a call from her sister. She started tearing up, and I felt something in my heart, like my heart lifted, like it was struggling, and then it lifted to peace. And I just heard a voice say, Pamela is dead. You guys don't know who Pamela is. She is my grandmother who passed away when I was in 4th grade. And I said, Grammy's dead. We always used to call her Grammy. I was her only grandson. But I do miss her, but it just was really hard when because also that same week my dad ran away for good, as we know right now. He might come back with my requestings. But basically, it set me into a big place of sin. First, it was the start of, I believe, cussing and sexually immorality. And as much as I hate admitting this, homosexuality. It wasn't like, I didn't know how to describe it. That went on till then. Words. Then, when I was in 5th grade, I started embracing myself into homosexuality. And I started calling myself a homosexual, which I regret, but it gave me a piece of pleasure, space of pleasure in doing. That was the way that the devil was saying, I have snatched you. And then mid-January, I think this is when this happened. No, it was actually December. Early December, I got addicted to pornography. That was in 5th grade. And I regret everything. I was struggling with pornography for a while. And then, in 7th grade, this was when everything finally hit me. I was becoming a mess. A huge mess. And I started wanting to hurt myself. I never did. Because there was always a voice in my head saying, you are worth everything to everyone. And then, this was also in 7th grade. I think it was April. This was actually 2 years ago. I woke up to a glimmering light in my room. And it was like so bright, it looked like the light was placed right in front of me. I don't need to like explain more on what it looked like. You're kind of getting the image. But as I was saying, I looked at the face, and it looked like a familiar face. And I looked right into it, and then I remembered a picture that I seen that my mom had shown me. It was my grandmother in, I believe, her graduating year of high school, I believe. And I just remember realizing that was my grandmother. It wasn't an angel. It was my grandmother. And she said to me, come to God. And I started going like, what? Come to God. And I was already going to my church's youth group, so I thought I was already safe then, but I wasn't. And this was when I started quitting pornography, and then after that, summer went by with a breeze. I forgot to mention, I met this one friend. Her name we shall not speak of, because we are no longer friends. Basically what happened was, she started cheering people on the way I cheer people on, and I realized maybe we could be friends. We were friends. And then the summer hit, she started doing some questionable things that made us take a break for a while. after that, we became friends again. She completely went off grid for September. I was like, maybe she's grounded. I won't tell you the reason, but this was when I started just struggle with sin again. I started struggling with homosexuality, which I am now cured. But I stopped going to my youth group. I felt like I was too much of a sinner to even show myself to youth group. But then January comes around, second semester of youth group. And basically what happened was I wasn't going to go to youth group at all. But 3 hours before I had to go to youth group, I heard this voice next to my ear, and it said, go to youth group. And I went to youth group, actually. And I enjoyed it, and there were some songs that they played that night that really touched my heart. And I was still struggling with homosexuality. But how I explain this is really hard. It was Mother's Day. And my church had this thing where you could kneel and pray up towards the stage. And I did that. And I started praying that God takes away my sin, God takes away homosexuality from me, God heals me. I started praying that. And after that, I felt the same sensation of after my grandmother died. A light weight lifted up on my heart. And I started realizing He has healed me. He has saved me. And all I could say is I am no longer struggling with sexual immorality or homosexuality. And all I have to say to you is, if you're going through that kind of sin, please understand, God has a plan for you. And now let's go to more distant in the future, to about a few weeks ago. Or no, April. After Easter, when the Pope died, I got a vision. It was of the rapture and the tribulation. It was a beautiful vision. I get more visions now, but that was what really spiked me. And another thing that really spiked me more to being a Christian was I went to 2 Easter services. And the first Easter service is a pre-Easter service, as I call it, where we go on the Saturday service, so it's not packed on Sunday. But then I went to a Sunday Easter service, and I was alone. And every time I saw someone get baptized, I cheered for them. Now, then we talk about why me and my friend became, why me and her are not friends anymore. I made a post on Instagram saying what kind of Christian I am, and I said my beliefs. And I believe that she thought I was attacking her. I'm sorry about that. Anyways, sorry about that. After that, I posted, but before that, I posted a few things about, my beliefs, and she didn't like that, and she claimed she was trying to help me. The only thing she was doing was saying that she is offended about what I believe. And if we were to ever become friends, if she were ever to want to be my friend again, I would say I would put major boundaries, like a lot, but she really, when we had that argument, I prayed after that. I prayed that she would realize what she said. And the next day, I was making a few pranks with my friend, which, yeah, one was with her, and I regret doing that, but, yeah. And also, yeah. Now, this is what drove me to Christ even more. Recently. It was the most recent thing I had. It was a demonic experience. It was actually right where I am sitting. What happened was, it was right after my sister went to her bedroom. I started feeling like there were demons around. And then I looked out right there. I was in my living room because I'm sleeping on my couch right now. I looked out there and I saw what looked to be a demon looking right into me, right at me. I was praying, and I prayed it away. And some of my friends and my family had similar experiences, but in dreams, like visions. But all I have to say is, God has a plan for you. Now, let's talk about what my plans are. If I make it to my future, which I don't know if I will, because no one knows when they will pass or when they will die. That's why I say, if I do. I want to be a pastor. I don't want to be a musician anymore. Well, I'll still be a musician. I just will do it for part-time. I'll be a priest for full-time. The reason why I decided to do this was because on that same time I was bowing and praying, I also did hear a voice say, "You will be a pastor." And I believe that I will be a pastor. So, here's the moral of my life story. If you have something go on, God has a plan for you. Have a blessed day, or a good day, whatever you want to call it, and be safe. Bye-bye.